So you came to me some weeks back, a couple of months ago, actually, I think at this stage, wasn't it? And before you were embarking on your adventures to go to the States with some trepidation around flying. So just very quickly, before we did what we did, what was your issue with flying that had kind of crept up over time? How would you describe that?
It developed about 15 years ago, and I'd been flying all the time for work. So it was a bit of a shock. And it really was torture. It would happen probably a week in advance where I would get so nervous and so anxious, and my stomach would be in bits. And on the actual flight and getting on the flight, I would have to take all kinds of remedies all the way through my GP prescribed Xanax for a long haul flight, which I only did in the company of my daughters. Well, it was kind of in safe hands, but it was pure torture. I was terrified. I thought of the whole fight and falling apart, etc. But it was just something I couldn't control. It was really horrible, and it actually prevented me doing trips. I postponed trips or I put them off altogether, such as going to the States to see my three older kids. So it was really impacting my life. Well, I've had 8 flights to and from and within the States and Canada, believe it or not, including one that was a dire emergency. I don't know if I mentioned that to you,
You
but
mentioned this, and this is incredible.
geez.
This nearly freaked me out.
Well, I was cool as a cucumber. There was 2 girls beside me on the flight, had just taken off from Philadelphia, and all these alarm bells went off like an ambulance siren. I'd never heard that in a plane. And we were still just taking off, and the crew came running from different directions to just 2 seats behind me, which was where the evacuation over the wing, the wing exit door. And apparently the bloody door wasn't closed properly. The girl beside me kept saying she couldn't sit still. I was just, oh yeah, okay. And it wasn't closed properly, and they had to physically close it while the captain maintained. They just kept cruising at that altitude for a while.
That's incredible. That is absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
And then you landed and you had a good time in the States and you saw your family. And then you were off to Italy again, another flight.
I decided, you know what, I've nothing to lose. And before the weather gets too hot and before the nerves are completely gone, but it's totally in perspective, I can handle it. And I actually smiled with the first flight taking off. I actually broke into a smile and was like so relieved. It just was a whole new lease of life.
So you kind of had a sensation, but you didn't have a panic or a hyper reaction to that sensation.
Exactly. It was totally in perspective.
A little
Yeah.
bit of fear, a little bit of trepidation is fine. It's how we respond to it, and how you respond to it is very, very different now. And there was no hard drugs, no Xanax, no serious strong alcohol involved. That's
No.
fantastic. I'm delighted for you.
Thank you.
Thank you for giving me the message here.
I just can't say it enough. I'm so appreciative. Thank you so much. And it's helped me in so many ways.
Right.
I really, really am grateful.